Welcome to Hoops Talk 305 on FSPN. This is the weekly recap show for South Florida high school basketball. We'll be right here every Sunday morning during the season with a recap of the previous week's games and highlights. We'll have a player spotlight and a coach's corner where we sit down with some of the best coaches in Miami-Dade and Broward County. I'm Uncle Muggs, and alongside me for this journey is none other than the head basketball coach for the legendary Miami Senior High School Stingerees, Mr. Humberto Govea. Coach, welcome to the studio.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here, excited to talk about South Florida hoops, and excited for a big season with this hat right here.
Is that the Miami High hat?
Yes, sir.
A lot of tradition in that gym. Must be nice to coach there.
Yes, and it's exciting for this season as well.
All right, on the show today, Coach, we're going to talk about all of last year's winners in every class. We're going to briefly talk about them, and then we're going to go over last week's games and talk about some upcoming events that we have. And in our final segment, we're going to have a player spotlight where we're going to feature a local Miami athlete. And that's going to be pretty cool. We get to talk to him. But before we get started, I need to mention a couple of upcoming events. On December 20th, FSPN, together with Swing Kings Miami, they're the batting cages in Tamiami Park, we're going to host the first annual Home Run Derby. And it's going to be indoors. It's a lot like Top Golf. It's called Hit Tracks Technology, and it tracks the ball. And I've brought all the big dogs from Dade and Broward County to take part in this and a virtual home run hitting contest. So that's going to be really cool. And I know you have something going on next month and your tournament. Tell us something about that, what's going to happen in Miami High Gym.
Yeah, we're excited to host again the Miami Holiday Invitational, December 26th through the 29th. We have some big hitters coming in into Miami for Christmas break. Roselle Catholic from New Jersey, St. Peter's Prep from New Jersey, Wilson Academy from Georgia, Langston Hughes from Georgia. We have Sagemont from right here from Florida. We have Westminster, Riviera from Miami. So a lot of big teams coming into town to, show off of our South Florida basketball.
A couple of state champions on that list.
Yes.
All right,
yes,
Coach, tell us about your Instagram page, and it's really interesting. It's got a lot of followers, and it's called the Point Guard Club. What is that all about?
Yeah, that's something I started a long time ago when I was the head coach at North Miami High School. I just figured I just wanted to start like a program of training kids, fundamentals, and a lot of guard skills and a lot of intellect and learning how to play the point guard position from video to mismanage and manage your ball handling skills. So I've been doing it for 15 years now, and it's been getting a lot of followers. Every summer we get about 200 kids come into our camp. We get a bunch of old players, former players, college coaches to come talk to the kids, NBA players. So it's been exciting all these years, and we've got quite a number of followers because of it. And it's a lot of fun to see these kids in other schools playing and doing what they learned at Point Guard Club the summer before. So
yeah, I like the followers, man. You got close to 10,000 followers. That's pretty good on Instagram. Yeah. So follow him on Instagram, guys. The Point Guard Club. A lot of interesting pictures and information there. Now, Coach, tell our audience a little bit about your basketball journey and how you ended up where you are right now as the head coach of the legendary Miami High Stingerees.
Yeah. Well, I moved here. I grew up in high school. In college, I went to New Jersey, a school in New Jersey. Went to high school up there, and I went to college, North Bergen High School, and then Montclair State University. And I stopped playing basketball, but I moved down. I became a teacher at Miami. And from one thing, somebody just needed help, coach, and they asked me for help. And I got in there at Doral Academy, and I started in 2005. And they didn't even have a gym. We used to practice in LA Fitness. And, I couldn't shake off basketball to this day. So throughout this coaching journey, I started at Doral Academy, and I went to Westland Hialeah High School, Miami Springs High School. I was an assistant coach for Coach Chachi at Coral Reef High School. And we won a state championship there as well.
Nice.
And then it propelled me in my journey into North Miami High School. We did well. 4 years I was there. We got 12 kids to college. Then I went to Coral Gables High School, and we were there 5 years, and we sent about 15 kids to college there. And we had a great time, but, I always wanted the mystique of Miami High has always been around, so it's somewhere I wanted to go to. And I live in Little Havana, so I'm excited to be the coach there every day I go to work, and I'm excited for this new season as well.
Hey, there's something about that building and that school
Yes.
being the first school in Miami-Dade County, and that's important. I mean, the young people nowadays don't realize the rich history and tradition that went on there, and they just got to walk in there. One day, if you're there, catch a game. It's a wonderful place. The band comes out.
Yeah.
There's 19 state championship banners hanging from the rafters, and hopefully this year we'll put another one up there.
Hopefully, that's the goal.
All right, Coach, let's talk about the first full week of this 2025-26 season. And every team has played at least a couple games. Some of them have competed in some preseason tournaments, and we had a couple season openers for some teams, including your Stingerees. Tell us about some of these tournaments and the tradition of these classics.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun, and it's kind of the breakout for the basketball season. The Thanksgiving tournament that they have at Sagemont up north is great. A lot of tough teams go there to play. A lot of colleges are watching. So all these Thanksgiving tournaments are great, and a lot of exposure for our kids as well.
All right, tell me about the tournament at your gym, the preseason tournament we had, and that's a very prestigious tournament to be invited to.
Mm-hmm. We had Bob Corella preseason. Bob was a coach that coached at Miami High, and he passed away during COVID. It was my first year at Miami High, so I always wanted to keep his name around, and what he does for the community is great. When the kids used to graduate, they would work for him, and he would get them jobs and stuff like that. So, to keep his name around, I wanted to call it the Bob Corella preseason, and it's a lot of fun when a lot of these schools come around and play.
Yeah, that's really nice that you keep the tradition going and keep his name alive during the tournament. All right. All right, folks, we're going to get this show started right now. We're going to kick off the 7 state titleists that we had this year, and we're going to start off in Class 1A. Last season's winner were the Sagemont Prep Lions, which you just mentioned. They're out of Weston. They won the state title in Class A, and they're led by their head coach, David Rowe, and that was their 3rd title in a row and the 5th for the program, and they had to beat a good team. They had to beat Orlando Christian Prep to accomplish this. Coach, tell us a little bit about Sagemont and the entire 1A class. What's your take on them this season?
Well, they're well coached, and they know how to coach talent. They're very, very impressive on defense and in transition. They have a kid named Kevin Thomas. He's a 5-star. We believe that he's back in Sagemont, and he's ready to kick off the season. They have a bunch of good players that they make great. Well coached. Coach Rowe does a great job. So does their assistants. Coach Nolan, I was his assistant at Miami Springs with T.Y. Hilton back then. But they are an amazing bunch to watch. They study the game well, and you better be prepared for them. And in 1A, they look like they're going to be dominant again this season.
All right. Anybody else in 1A that we could keep an eye on that maybe is going to surprise somebody, or maybe a team that we just need to watch?
There's a lot of other schools, too, to compete with for their state championship this year, but they look strong this year, very strong.
All right. And we may not have all the classes right, and you know how schools change classes, and we may not be super, this is not Fox, but we're doing our best. All right. Let's move over to Class 2A, and last season's state champs were the Bulldogs of Riviera, a local 305 team, and they're led by their head coach, Anthony Shabazz. 3 in a row must be the theme because it was the 3rd championship in a row for the Bulldogs, and, well, the 3rd for Coach Shabazz as well. Coach, tell us about Riviera Prep and what you see in that Class 2A this season.
That's a tough class. It's getting better every year. Coach Shabazz does an amazing job over there at Riviera. They had kids come in and leave the program, and they're back at it. Dante Allen left, and now you have the Fuentes brothers that are taking over and growing into their own legacy. Because they are tough. They are tough. They are, to me, probably the top 1 to 3 best school in the state of Florida this season.
Wow, the Class 2A is
yeah.
very tough. Anybody else in Class 2A that we could keep an eye on?
Yeah, I believe they have a few programs over there that they might compete. Westminster Christian, Archbishop Carroll, Palmer Trinity, Somerset Academy. They have some tough schools to go through. I mean, it's not going to be easy, but they look like the big shots in that region.
Okay, Coach, let's move over to Class 3A, and the schools are getting a little bit bigger now. And last year's 3A champion were the Cavalry Christian Academy, and that's 3 in a row for South Florida teams. And that goes to show you the type of talent that we have down here in South Florida. Cavalry Christian is led by their head coach, Silk McSweeney, and that was the 4th for the program, the 4th for the coach. And tell us about Cavalry and Class 3A, Coach.
They're tough. They look like they're going back. They're led by their point guard, Caden. The kid is legit. He could pass the ball. He's a 3-way scorer. He showed that being undersized means nothing. And Coach Silk always does a great job with those boys, getting them ready for the playoffs. And they are battle tested, so it's going to be hard to knock them out of their region, for sure.
Who else can we look for to be competitive in Class 3A?
Yeah, well, there's a few schools. I mean, you have Carroll City. They're regrouping. They look pretty good the other day. I watched them. Slam looks pretty good with their kid that transferred over there. And LaSalle has a big kid that can shoot the ball well, too. So they have a number of group of schools there that could compete as well.
It's going to be fun to watch. Remember, go out, catch a game, support your local athletic program, and the kids love it to see the stands full of people. All right, let's go over to Class 4A, and the state champs were the Stranahan Fighting Dragons, and they're from Fort Lauderdale, and that's their 3rd championship in the past 4 years. Coach, another South Florida school with a title. What do you got to say about that?
They look tough again. These teams are loaded. They're ready for the playoffs, too. This team is battle-tested. They won, and they're coming back for more. This is a very good team, well-coached as well, and have a lot of experience. It's going to be tough to knock them out.
Oh, yeah. Who else can we look for there? I mean, I know they're maybe the class act of that class, but who else is on your radar?
One team that could surprise people over there is Matter Lakes. Matter Lakes has Ty Bell and the other kid, Kanye. Those kids are electric.
Kanye
They're getting
Moss,
older.
yes.
Yep, they're getting older. They're learning how to play more in the system, and they're going to be a tough out as well. So never know.
Okay, let's move over to Class 5A, where the current state champions are the Blanche Ely Tigers out of Pompano Beach, and they're led by their head coach, J.R. McNabb, and that is the 9th state title for the program, and I believe it was the 1st for Coach McNabb. I'm not sure about that one. So far, South Florida teams, Dade and Broward, 5 for 5. Coach, what can you tell us about Blanche Ely and Class 5A?
Well, they're well coached. They're ready to go, but they look like they're regrouping a little bit this year, and they're going to have a tough time. They have some schools in their region that are going to give them a tough break, and I think they could pull through it because of their experience. But you have teams in there like Belen with Coach Chachi that always gives those boys a chance. American High School looks pretty good. Norland, of course, they're ready to go. They look like they're a seasoned group of vets. Also, these teams, a lot of them, they play year round. So, when these boys get back healthy and ready for the season, they're a tough out as well over there at Miami Norland.
All right, so let's talk about Class 6A, and last season's winner were the St. Thomas Aquinas Raiders, and it's the 2nd title for St. Thomas and the 1st for head coach Sandy. Coach, tell us about another South Florida team winning the title. What do you think about that?
Yeah, another tough team, another tough pair of guards. These guys are good. St. Thomas Aquinas are picking you up full court, playing defense, and they are not going to be easy to beat. They're probably going to be ranked top 10 in the state most of the season. They're going to have their little group of teams that are going to give them competition, but they are good. They are good.
Okay. Anybody in that 6A class that we need to look out for?
Yeah, Southridge looks great, and they're gonna get great throughout the season. Like other teams throughout the season, they get in shape and they get better as they go. So I think Southridge and maybe even Coral Park will sneak one to that region.
It's our boy Coach Lara over there.
Yeah.
All right. So our final class now is 7A, and the state champions and national champions we all know were the Columbus Explorers, and that was 4 in a row for Columbus. And with this title, Miami-Dade and Broward County have swept all 7 classes. Incredible. I don't think that's ever been done before. Unbelievable. The great group of talent and incredible coaches that we have down here in South Florida. Coach, what's your take on Class 7A this season? I know that's the class that you belong to, and I'm sure you were happy to see the Boozers graduate this year, right?
Yeah. Well, they were happy to see some of our guys graduate too. But 7A is going to be exciting this year. They have a new group of guys. It'll be nice to see them coached by our new coach as well. So we'll see how far they get. They look very strong. They look very talented. They look very seasoned. Okay, and they're going to be a tough out. Now, 7A is not no walk in the park. It's for big boys, big schools, a lot of talent. I believe besides us at Miami High, we'll give them a little test. Also, I think Coral Glades has a great program over there ran by Coach, and also Oak Ridge up north by Orlando. So 7A is not easy. You have some sneakers also. Doral Academy and Palmetto are tough teams as well that you never know what's going to happen towards the end of the season.
All right, Coach. This concludes the first segment on the first episode of Hoops Talk 305. When we come back, we're going to go over last week's games, show a few highlights, and talk about some games that are upcoming on the schedule, so you don't want to miss this. Again, come out, support your local high school basketball athletic programs, attend these games, and it's nothing better than going out and taking in a game, especially at your stadium. So when we come back, we're going to have a few scores and highlights from the weekly games. Thanks for watching, everyone. Welcome back, everyone, to Hoops Talk 305, where we're going to break down the weekly games on high school basketball in Miami-Dade and Broward County. Next to me is Coach Govea, the head coach for the Miami High Stingarees. And, Coach, are you ready for the weekly recap?
Yes, let's do it.
Coach, this week there were a few season kickoff tournaments, and all of our 305 teams saw some action. Let's talk about some of those key games. Let's start off with the Mater Lakes Bears, and they're led by their head coach, Dylan Eastock. The Bears are just 2 seasons removed from a state title, and they had their season opener last Friday night against the Mater Bay Rays, and we got to see some of that young talent that Coach Eastock has up there at Mater Lakes. Tell us something about what you know about the Bears.
Well, Mater Lakes looks tough this year, and their kids are getting older and more mature. And watch out Miami, because Ty Bell and the other guard over there, Kanye, together they're attacking them. And it's going to be a problem for a lot of people to hold those two down.
Absolutely. Can't wait to see the rest of the season, how it rolls out. And yet another season opener that took place last week was your very own Miami High Stingarees. You took on the second oldest high school in Miami-Dade County. These guys right here, Miami Beach.
What's the first oldest?
Of course, it's you guys.
Oh, okay.
1903, the first high school in Miami-Dade County.
That's right.
You beat Miami Beach convincingly, 72-46 on your home court. Tell us about that game and what was working for you, and what are some of the things that you might need to work on?
Yeah, we started the game strong on our defense. It's not easy to play us at the Asylum, and I made sure it was going to continue to be difficult for everyone else. I mean, obviously, we missed some free throws here and there, but we have to work on our game. We have to get better. Coach did a good job running a zone against us, and our kids proved it right.
Yeah, it seemed like the second half you turned it up in the pressure as far as the full court press. I noticed that right away.
Yeah. And that's our bread and butter. We have to continue to play defense, and if we want to win anywhere in the future, is through our defense. So we'll continue to put pressure on guys.
All right. Miami High's next game at home is on December 9th, and it's against Booker T at that very Asylum. And folks, if you've never been there, or if you haven't been there in a long time, I recommend that you take in a basketball game in Miami High. there's no better place. The gym's 100 years old, and it's the best place in Dade County. I'm sorry if I get hate mail
And
for
it's
this.
rocking. And it's
And
rocking.
it rocks. The band is there. The marching band does a great job, and just the whole atmosphere. So come out and not only support Miami High, but support your local athletic program.
It's like a prize fight at Miami High.
It sure is. Just the sound and the smell. It smells like basketball.
Yeah.
All right. Another game that we're going to recap this week are the battle between two state champions. It was the Riviera Prep Bulldogs, and they took on the Dragons from Stranahan on the Thanksgiving Day Classic that was over at Miami Central. I was there to see that game, and Riviera at the end just pulled away from the state champ. What do you think about that?
Yeah, their guards are veterans. They know how to win and close out games, and that's exactly what they did. It's not easy to beat those two brothers, the Fuentes brothers, which they play incredible defense, and they're veterans. They know how to close out games, and that's exactly what they did.
Were you surprised at all to see Riviera win by 15 points over another state champion?
No, but I was surprised that they were losing by 6 in the second half. But again, veteran presence, good coaching. Coach Shabazz does a great job over there, and it was a good win for them actually.
All right, tell us about a couple more really important games that took place this last week. What do you have on the tap for us?
Columbus beat Southeastern at the Buzzard. That was a good game. Another tough game in our county was Coral Park versus Westwood Christian. Westwood Christian, again, shot a lot of threes, and their impact in the paint with their big man came through and beat a hot Coral Park at their home. So that was a good win for Westwood Christian over there.
All right, folks, that's all the time we have today on Hoops Talk 305. We're going to get to more games next week. We just did the first segment of the champions, and that took up a lot of time. But we promise to be here every Sunday morning during the season, and we'll bring you recaps of the games, as well as some highlights, some interviews with players, and interviews with coaches. So, Coach, are you ready? It's going to be a long season.
It's exciting. It's exciting.
All right. Any shout-outs, any hellos you want to say? Anybody?
Yes, I want a big shout-out to one of our players, Jackson Heaven. Scored 28 points this week. He had a big game. Also, the players over there at Westwood Christian, I think they're hot and they're ready for their season as well. Watch out with them.
They're going to be fun to watch. Okay, we're going to wrap it up with that. That's all the time we have for today. We'll be here next Sunday with more highlights and interviews. Thanks for watching Hoops Talk 305 with Uncle Muggs and the coach. See you next time.